Parents of students attending Nashville's Covenant School have filed a legal objection to the release of shooter Audrey Hale's manifesto. They say keeping the details of the transgender shooter's motives private would protect people from, quote, a lifetime of abuse and harassment by the shooter from beyond the grave. But the parents say they have no objection to releasing police reports or summaries of the crime that killed 3 9-year-old children and 3 adults. So why are federal and local officials still withholding details of the shooter's manifesto after more than 2 months? On this week's episode of The Global Lane, Judge Jeanine Pirro, host of the Fox News program The Five, suggests they may have another agenda.
They say the FBI gave as a reason for not releasing the manifesto of the transgender shooter. They say that it would be too dangerous. I don't know what that means, and I don't think anybody knows what that means. But ultimately, I think that there may be, another agenda going on. I can't imagine what it is. I can't tell you what's in their minds, but I don't know why we could see everybody else's manifesto and not this one.
As a former prosecutor, I've got to ask you to share your thoughts on what many Americans believe is a two-tiered justice system with political prosecutors and a politicized FBI.
The top echelon of the FBI needs to go. I think we learned from Jim Comey that he wasn't beyond corruption and lying to Congress and getting out there and protecting Hillary Clinton from the email scandal, saying no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute her. Well, he's wrong. I would. No one was fired in that Clinton email scandal and in the Russia collusion delusion, which the Durham report convinced us and reported there was no collusion with Russia. And in fact, Hillary Clinton made it all up, and she told Barack Obama and Joe Biden that she was going to make up this hoax to get the press off of her email scandal and her erasing 33,000 emails, which is obstruction of justice, destruction of evidence, as well as classified documents. So, the FBI has to be revamped. The main level of men and women are fantastic. I've worked with them for decades. But the upper echelon has been politicized, and we've seen it. And I actually talk about it in Crimes Against America. We've seen it in terms of Hillary and in terms of Donald Trump, lying to a FISA court and then going back to a judge to re-up a warrant. If attorneys came before me and put a false affidavit before me that they knew was untrue, I'd have their law license. They would never appear again. But Jim Comey never fired anybody. He never suspended anybody, and neither did Christopher Wray. So whether it's Strzok, Page, McKay, Comey, Christopher Wray, it's all the same nonsense.
So how do we reverse course? Are elections the only answer? Because voters in left-leaning cities like Chicago keep electing leftist leaders and prosecutors.
Well, I think the problem can only be solved when people understand that the election of district attorneys is far more important than they ever realized. I ran for DA 3 times. I was elected, reelected, and reelected. And the truth is that one of my messages to my community, which is a Democrat community, and I'm a Republican, conservative, independent, my message was, you need me. You need me because I'm a tough prosecutor. I'm going to make sure that your businesses stay in business, that your home values continue to go up, that your children and your families and you are safe. That is the obligation, that the first order of government. And when you have prosecutors who are convinced that the criminals are the victims and they let them out of jail, or we have this nonsense social justice cashless bail absurdity, as though bail is some unnecessary imposition. Bail is in the 8th Amendment to the Constitution. So, and you've got to make sure that you don't elect an insurance lawyer to be the DA. They know nothing about prosecuting. And you've got to make sure that people on the school board share the same values that you do, that they don't believe in transgender education and indoctrination to our kids. And that's the most important thing that we can do. Is these low-level races are extremely important. And I talk about this in Crimes Against America. That you can get on Amazon or judgejbooks.com. judgejbooksingular.com. What you need to do, how you need to argue, and what has happened to this great nation. You know, America is that shining city on the hill, and I want to keep it that way, just the way Ronald Reagan described it.
Okay, the book is Crimes Against America, The Left's Takedown of Our Republic. Judge Jeanine Pirro, thank you for sharing your insights. It's a pleasure talking with you. God bless.
And you can watch The Global Lane tonight on the CBN News Channel at 8:30 Eastern. You can also see it on the CBN News app or on YouTube.